Well, yeah. How about we get into the junior future games first? I mean, one thing I wanted to mention just about the team, they went 4-1 on the week. We ended in the Final Four. We made it there. Played Tennessee, who eventually won the Junior Future Games tournament. And I think, Drew, you mentioned this. It was the furthest any Illinois JFG team has ever made it in bracket play. So that was really cool to see. But I thought it was a really good team, good group of kids, too. So I'll let you guys touch on it if you have anything.
I think if you were around that week and just around those guys for 10 minutes, it wouldn't have surprised you that they went as far as they did. One thing I thought that was just absolutely amazing was how close they all seemed. Mind you, they're all from different travel organizations. Yeah, we had a good mix. We had like 5 or 6 kids, that were on 2 travel ball teams and then a couple other ones sprinkled in. But like, you would have thought these kids had been playing with each other for 10 years. Like, the chemistry, the way guys were like razzing on each other throughout the week, just having a ton of fun. It was very easy to, see and understand why they went as far as they did. I feel like it's the most talented JFG team I've probably been around. This was, I think, my fourth future games week down there. So, no, a very talented group, a group I think we're all really excited to see how they do as they move into high school this year.
Yeah, no, they were absolutely loaded. I mean, being on the tournament side, um, like most of those kids were from like the two best teams that I saw all summer, and we got their best players, and like it was basically just making a super team. And obviously there was a few. Obviously, there's more teams that were really good with players that we easily could have taken. They just couldn't make it. Um, but no, it was ultra impressive, and they were so much fun to watch. Like they were competing against some of the better teams there, and to make it to the Final Four as Illinois is pretty crazy. It was legit.
Yeah, well, this, like with the future games, the senior future games and the regular future games is all just showcase. The games are set. It's 3 games, and you're. That's what makes the junior future games a little unique for me is there's bracket play and there's a lot of pride, and we're bringing one team from Illinois and we're trying to win that thing. So balancing that with a, hey, this should be an awesome experience at an awesome park with some of the best players from other states that you're going to be playing against with, hey, like we're still here having fun. But we're going to try to win this thing and we want to represent for Illinois. We're not going to go, abuse arms or, do anything like that. But at the same time, we can still try to win. And to watch Illinois, and even the game before, I think it was that Saturday night, the first game of bracket play, we had Cody Bush, come out. He's going to Joliet Catholic. All these guys are 2029s. And he throws he had a no hitter going through 5 or 6. Ends up throwing a one hitter, complete game with limited pitches. I'm sitting here like, man, he's gonna save the bullpen. We're cruising through this game like we are gonna be set up for the bracket play the next day. It was just one of the best performances I've seen since I like at a junior future games. Watching him just dominate and the poise on the mound and the total control he had, over that baseball, laying in the breaking ball for a strike, just pounding the zone. And I know maybe we weren't getting into players yet, but like to me, that was one of my favorite takeaways from Team Illinois was watching that game that Saturday night. And it, honestly, like kind of putting in my head, like, okay, we really have a legitimate shot to take this thing, down this year. But
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a complete game because of the pitch count. You're
yeah,
obviously not trying to crush anybody, and he was like 75 pitches.
I don't even know
It
if
was
it was
like the
that
youth.
because I
It
was
was like the
starting to,
youth version of a
yeah,
Maddox.
yeah.
Like it was. It was so efficient.
Yeah, but I mean, shout out Nick DiBenedetto too. He was the coach, the head coach of that, and he wanted it. He wanted to be the coach of that team, and he really took it on, and gelled well with the guys, and they liked him a lot too, and it clearly showed. Like they all vibed really well, and the results speak for themselves. I mean, they beat a lot of really good teams. That what was that Sunday? We were playing the doubleheader. Yeah, I mean they won that first game against that team they played.
Mississippi.
Yeah, Mississippi.
Yeah.
They were boat racing teams, and they beat them, and then they had to play Tennessee, and it was a really good game. I think we were just maybe one arm short from winning
Yeah.
that game. We just kind of, they had a little more arms left than we did, but yeah, another really good close game there that we easily could have won. But no, it was awesome. I'm really happy for those boys. I'm sure it was a great experience for them.
For me too, just you go down and we ran them through the workout. And you get a really good idea of like your team when you run them through the workout. You see them all take BP, you see them all do defense, and I'm feeding the hack attack for BP during the showcase portion, and right after, I'm on the radio to to guys around the park like, you better watch out for Team Illinois. Like, I've never seen a more impressive BP, and it wasn't like, oh my gosh, we had just a ton of absolute studs. It was just the most complete top to bottom rounds of BP, living on the barrel, like showing a ton of feel to hit, along with some guys that had some juice. Like, some guys were leaving the yard in BP. I was just like, what am I watching right here? Like, this is so good for 14U. It's like, there cannot be that many other teams that are going to hang with us. So I'm glad we actually did make the legit bracket and make it to the semis, because I would have looked like pretty dumb making that statement. But that was the kind of like just vibe I got from that group right out of the gate.
I mean, there was some legit prospects there. Like, I remember the first day, their first game. Like, I really wanted to watch it, but I was coaching Team Select. Luckily, we were playing next to each other. I'm in the dugout. Someone comes over, and they're like, yeah, Todd Delaney Jr. just went yard. And it's like, you never see that. You never see, like, over-the-fence home runs in the JFGs. It was, like, the second batter of the game. And I was like, yeah, all right, yeah, they're going to be a problem. And then we had someone else go yard that same game, right?
Well, I know
it was Dempsey Steinmetz, yeah.
Yeah, it's just nuts. Like, you don't see that.
Well, and I think Mississippi, the team we played on that Sunday morning in the Elite Eight, that night before, that Saturday night when Cody Bush was kind of dominating in that complete game, they had a left-handed hitter who, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Mississippi. They had a left-handed hitter who walked off their game with an absolute bomb. It's out there on Twitter somewhere on X, probably through the Mississippi account. But I saw it the next morning as we're like driving to go play them. I was like, we may not want to pitch to this guy. You know, like, it was such an impressive swing. There's just so many good players down at that Junior Future Games, and I give all of our different state directors like a ton of credit. Like, they identify the top players in their state at that young age, and they get them to come to that event. And typically those Southeast teams with the location to, Lake Point, Georgia, it's not too hard for those families. Like, they tend to be loaded. Like, that Georgia team's always really good. Mississippi, David Sharp in Alabama does an unbelievable job. Their teams always are loaded. So it makes it for a great event. And, it's all, represented by prep baseball state directors and our staffs. And like you said, Nick DiBenedetto doing an outstanding job this year. And just a ton of fun to watch. So I don't know if there's any guys that we want to talk about. Like, Pete, you mentioned Todd Delaney Jr. going to Nazareth, like, really, really looks the part, can handle the bat, can play the middle infield. Was it him and Cody Bush that turned that double play up the middle where it's like a glove flip turn? Like, it was just like it's like I was watching a college game, watching those guys handle the middle infield.
I had those two written down on my sheet as just like, in regard to Delaney and Bush, like, that was an unreal middle infield duo. Like, and they were interchangeable. Either one could have played short. Either one could have played second. It didn't matter. And they were both just like automatic. Like, there was a play, I want to say it was Saturday, early in the day, that Delaney makes on like a chopper. And Drew, you just go, yeah, that 14-year-olds don't look like that. Like, making that play. Like, that's like a college guy right now. So really impressive stuff from those two. Like, we were kind of talking about it in regard to Delaney. Like, the middle infield lineage at Naz recently is kind of absurd. They went from Cooper Malamasian to Landon Tomey. After Landon Tomey, they're either going to go to Delaney or they could even go to Gavin Hartigan here in a couple years. So it's like crazy. The middle infield talent the Naz has really started to get through there. At least since I've been doing this, it's probably been even better since before me. But
we had a long list.
It's nuts.
Of good middle infielders. I was kind of just gonna look, but that may be too hard to pull up right now. But that's a really good call out. And I mean, Todd Delaney should fit right in and have a chance to impact a varsity squad. At a fairly early age, just depending on what they have. But I also thought, like, just our middle infield in general. When you factor in Andrew Jones going to Marist, like he can flat pick it. Like he could play anywhere on the infield. And then Jake Pisano at third base made every play. Um, so like it wasn't just like we were, banging baseballs all over the place. Like we were just playing good baseball. Like it was really fun to watch. Pitchers were throwing strikes, guys were making plays, kids were having good competitive at bats. You know, Paulie Hobbs, like he may have some of the loudest present tools in the class. Like he took one of the more impressive BPs of probably the entire junior future games, just leaving the yard with like relative ease, like a lot. Hitting some towering home runs. We mentioned Dempsey Steinmetz hit a bomb in game. Leo Kelly comes towards the end of the event because he had conflicts at home that he had to attend, and he still wanted to be a part of this event and part of Team Illinois, which I think is like speaks volumes to just, man, that want to get down to the event was super appreciated. He comes out, wins us the game on the mound on that morning, on Saturday morning, and just added a really, really good spark to the club. Hector Valdez throwing the ball well in his first game. Like he took the ball as the basically our Friday night game, guy is game one, threw the ball really well, set a good tone. Just so many different guys. Jacob Casper's a left-handed hitting catcher to know. Charlie Coman, just an athletic left-handed hitting outfielder. So, I mean, we could go up and down the list, but those were just some takeaways that I had on that team.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, like, with kids that young, like, obviously a lot can change and happen throughout the high school, their careers, but, like, that whole team, like, you feel confident that those guys are going to continue to get better and, like, be great players by the time it's all said and done. I mean, a lot of times you might just get a kid that's way bigger than everybody, and, like, he's just not, that's kind of just what he's going to be. But like everybody there was like, you feel like they're just gonna keep getting better, and they got present talent and they got ceiling. So like it was just an awesome blend of like kind of a little bit of everything with that team.
I'm hoping we had all those type of guys because like I look back at this 2025 class and the guy like Connor Essenberg, junior future gamer, Enzo Infelice, junior future gamer, Jaden Fauski, junior future gamer. And there's way more than that. Jackson Natanic, like I could go on and on. I'd have to pull up the list, but like to see those guys from junior future games, they were really good then. But like you said, Pete, like I don't think they're just the top guys right now because they're extra strong, or like super physically advanced. Like they're just good players that are going to continue to get better. And I'm hoping, 4 years down the road, when we look back at that senior class, we can say, there you go, Todd Delaney, junior future gamer. Dempsey Steinmetz, junior future gamer, whatever it may be. But I love that part of the junior future games, is kind of seeing where they end up going.
There's two more guys. Oh, you get in there, Gab.
I'm off.
Get in there.
I'm off topic a little bit, but one thing you guys mentioned Nick DiBenedetto coaching earlier. I think we all just have to give him a big shout out as well. He earned the win over Mississippi, who had a former big league head coach on third base for him. So shout out to Nick, beat a big leaguer, former big league manager. Sorry, but go ahead, Tyler.
No, that's a great call. Two guys I wanted to shout out: Tyler Landsey out of Providence Catholic and Mason Koth out of Jacobs. Both outfielders. I thought both took great at bats all week, and I thought both played fantastic outfield. Like both those guys to me can play either outfield spot and play it well. I think as you look ahead to next spring, listen, Providence Catholic's a really tough program to play at as a freshman. I'm not going to be surprised in the slightest if when we get, those preseason questionnaires back from Coach Smith over at Provi that he's like, yeah, Landsey's probably going to play this year. Like, I think he's wired that way. He seemed like a gamer just being around him. He also got on the mound and threw well for us too. Mason the same way, like he can also pitch. Younger brother of Jace Koth, who will be, planted in center field for Jacobs next year as well. So just two guys to me where it's like, I'm not going to be surprised if March or April comes around, we start hearing those two guys are factoring at the varsity level as freshmen.
And no matter what, like Tyler Landsey's probably going to have a bright future, at Providence.
Right.
And add some quality competition to that roster because it's like, it's so hard. There's certain schools where it's just so hard, to know hey, does this guy really have a chance to play early, or do they have 10 legitimate outfielders that have a chance to compete? And probably some that we've never heard of. One guy, too, like Mason Carlson, catcher. I think he's going to Joliet Catholic, or at Joliet Catholic right now. Like, he banged a couple balls later in the week or the event that kind of stick out to me. And you mentioned just how good that infield was, especially up the middle. It brought me back to, like, I felt like it was on the same level as one year we had Dylan Head and Frederick Ragsdale in the outfield. Frederick Ragsdale went to Lyons Township, then South Sub. I'm not sure where he ended up committing out of South Sub, but okay. Yeah, he might be a sophomore there right now, but like not a single ball landed in the outfield. Dylan Head was the best 14U outfielder I've ever seen. Just kind of gave me the same vibe. Like two guys tracking down center and right, just absolutely held it down, and that's how I felt about our middle infield. Was like these are two of the top defensive middle infielders in the state. And then you throw Andrew Jones in there too, who's probably right up there with them. It's just really cool to watch that and to have that on Team Illinois. So we gotta work to have that next year and continue to build off this semifinal run. But shout out to all the parents and players that did come down to that event and make it such an awesome team, an awesome environment to be around, and a competitive team as well.